And welcome everyone to Overwatch Contenders Fall Series APAC. I'm G-Clev with me, the legendary Unknown. We are back as a duo for APAC, starting off day number 1. It's been a while, Unknown, and
Yeah,
I
it
missed
has
you.
been.
And I missed you, and I missed all of you guys. Now we're back with APAC Fall Series. Some great teams getting ready to go for a first match and the second match today.
Yeah, exactly. So we've been a little bit missing out on a lot of Overwatch action on the Apex side. While we have been gone, a lot of teams have been preparing a lot for the new meta, a lot of changes, and the Open Tournament has been there. So the best teams from the Open Tournament in both East Asia and the Southeast Asia regions have been handpicked and selected so that they can be contending on these fall series.
Yeah, the top four from the East and top 4 from Southeast Asia Open. And we were lucky to actually get some numbers out of that, and we see some great new players kicking into the contender. That's exactly what it's all about, having these new fresh blood coming into the tournament and see where they can actually land in about half a year or 2 year. They actually might just be in making it into the Overwatch League. That's always a potential, and it's always a great opportunity for us to actually cast their first moments into APAC Contenders. I'm very, very excited what they have got us for us, and we also now have Flashpoint. So
Exactly.
that's a
I
new,
wanted to
new
say
greatest
that.
addition. So you can say all you want about Flashpoint.
I mean, this contenders season will be very, very exciting because number one, we're not seeing Somber Tracer anymore. Well, maybe
Nah.
some teams might, but still, we have a lot of changes on the meta. We have a lot of changes on the map pools as well. As some of you may have already seen the Overwatch League, but this is going to be definitely a different look from what you've been seeing in summer. There are a lot of patches currently. This fall series will not be on the live patch. However, it will be on the August patch, which means that the patch until the armor changes will be in effect. So I guess this is going to shake up a lot of things. We will be seeing a lot of different things. Maybe I'm anticipating something like the Orisa. We've seen a lot of Sigma as well. We've seen the Torbion and the Bastion. We're living in a
lots of
world where
Torbion,
Bastion is
actually.
actually meta here.
Yeah, main DPS picking lots of Torbion in the meta, like not just in certain maps, in a lot of those maps, and actually doing a pretty good job. So
Exactly.
I'm having high hopes that Torbion, like was there ever a meta where we actually had Torbion as like the main DPS? In certain
I
points
think
on
I
the
have
map.
to go all the way back to the Overwatch Apex times, I think. But yeah, it's definitely exciting times. We also have the addition of Illari to the roster, which shakes up a lot of things. Illari, although not as strong, so it's not like a must pick, but
No,
a
she
lot
is
of
not a support. I'm just gonna gonna say that already.
the Sunstone is the support and the Illari is the DPS.
Okay,
That's what I'll
okay.
say.
So we're at the patch where her healing got slightly nerfed with the pylons, but even before that, she was insane.
Exactly.
So still now she was very OP. Now she's still in the. I would still pick her as like the top tier, even in the league. Let's see how many times we'll actually see her. I'm pretty sure a lot of times, as we have seen her in play from the other regions very recently.
Exactly. We also have some very interesting storylines in that as well. We will definitely kind of bring it up that later, but we have the first player that ever played Illari in competitive Overwatch on stage. Well, not on stage, but on playing today.
Yeah.
So this is something definitely that would be interesting to see. And like you said, G-Clef, especially if you look at the Overwatch League, we see a lot of talents that have been in contenders, and this is one of the greatest stages. So to showcase that you're able to compete at that top level.
Hey, I'm not against anything. The more experience they can get, soak it all up through different teams, the different rounds, and through different meta, different teams, and just bring it on the bigger stage. That's exactly what you want to have in the future. I can't complain at all. And that's how you become one of the greatest player, and that you can start at this level at Contenders and move on. For the schedule, it's going to be today, tomorrow, and then next Friday and Saturday. So 4 days, 3 matches every single day, and then we have like a two-week vacation or a break for the finals. That will be big final 2 matches. Let's see who comes out on top, because we have 2 great teams lined up for those matches coming up.
Yeah, some familiar teams as well and some new teams as well. And if you look at the format, I'll just kind of spoil it here. We have the initial matches are first to 3 format, and then on the finals it is going to be a first to 4. This is your teams that are on your screen right now. Like, you have some fan favorites like Varel, NGUK, and Invincible that have been playing last season as well. We definitely see some new teams in the form of Sixblow, Heaven Sent. DAF is basically cracking esports, so a lot of you'll see a lot of familiar players there. Exactly. Also, Four-Eyed Freaks and Fade. Those are new teams coming into Contenders, but the players that are playing on those teams are somewhat familiar.
Somewhat familiar, and you might just find somewhat familiar players from some other regions that you have seen before, and you would find yourself like, huh? Well, this player is playing in Asia Pacific now? Okay, I guess so. Yes, it did happen. As Heaven Sent, you'll see a lot of players.
Exactly. I thought
from NA. I
first thought it was NA All Stars.
I actually thought there was some type of error, and then it turns out it's totally fine. And they're actually going to be one of the stronger teams in the tournament, as we just talked about before the broadcast too. Yeah, here's the map pool, slightly different. Could you go over the map pool?
Yeah, we definitely have a bigger map pool than the Overwatch League right now, so we'd be seeing definitely a lot of maps coming into Control. You see Busan, Ilios, Legion Tower, Antarctic Peninsula, and Hybrid. We go to Blizzard World, Kings Row, Midtown, Flashpoint. This is my point of interest. We only have Saravasa and Junk City. That's the only available Flashpoint modes, but we have both of them in the map pool here. Push, we have Coliseo Esperanza and New Queen Street. We also have only 3 of those in the push mode, so we have all of them. Escort, Dorado, Route 66, Shambali Monastery is coming back to the map rotation, and Circuit Royale. So we definitely see a lot of potential for a variety of compositions, because G-Club, these maps, it's not a map pool where you can have a plan A and then you can go with it for the entirety of the map pool.
It's for the players in the team. It's certainly tougher because it just requires a lot more practice to be done, a lot more homework to study against the opponent, but you just have to do it. Sometimes it makes it harder, sometimes it creates more opportunity for some creativity for the teams. So that's going to be the map pool, as we will explain over and over again, that some teams might take advantage on that. And here's the bracket. We will only go through the first 2 matches on the left top, and also have the winners. So 3 matches each and every day. So no games from Barrel, Fade, DAF, and NGUK today. And this is today's schedule. 3 matches. What do you expect out of today's matches, Unknown?
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to see what the new, because today's matches are more about the new teams. Well, Invincible was playing in the summer series for APAC last season, but the rest of the 3 teams are, if you just look at the team names, they are new to Contenders. I'm definitely looking to see what they bring to the table, especially teams like Sixblow, who have been on open tournament for quite a while, but actually they've been around since 2020, and this is their first time ever that they're, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that they're participating in Overwatch Contenders APAC. So this is really exciting to see what they have on the table.
Yeah, I did read that they were actually playing a lot in the open, but never was really quite able to make it into the APAC series. So this time they made it through. Let's see how far they can actually get against 4EF. That'll be the first matchup today, and then continuing with Heaven Sent versus Invincible, and the winner's match between those first 2 matches that we will have. Pretty sure that the AF is not on the menu today.
Yeah, today.
But here's Sixblow.
Yeah, that's Sixblow. So production kind of pulled a prank over there. They wanted to kind of, see how I stutter if I get surprised. But here we go. TQQ or Roromi. That's how I'm told that we read that.
Roromi.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Max, Sakumi, and Kiru01 on the starting roster for Sixblow.
Yeah, Sakumi actually, I did watch his videos on YouTube too. So pretty popular, well known from the community. And let's see, Sixblow, they've been playing together a lot as a team, and I didn't really find too many member changes throughout those years if they were together. Kind of like Vero, as maybe it's a thing for a lot of Japanese teams where they stick together and then they just continue to build on their teamwork and their mechanics.
Yeah, good point there, G-Club, because this team is a predominantly Japanese roster, which is something that is kind of rare in Overwatch Contenders right now, especially in the fall series, where you see a lot of teams that have mixed nationalities. This is a single Japanese roster. Maybe that might be the advantage for team communications and all that, but we go to Four-Eyed Freaks here. XP7, this is a big roster with XP7, Speed 75, which are familiar names. XP7 actually has been an SLT in Contenders Korea, and Speed 75, a part of OUA Esports. Rui has been a part of Far East Society, so there is a lot of experience in this roster in terms of Contenders experience.
Yeah, exactly. And Speed 75 also a part of Team Indonesia, I believe, and had some Tracer God moments during those matches. I still remember to this day. I was contesting against the best Tracers in the league many times and was able to come up on top. Expecting a lot of that. Well, in the different meta. So, expecting a lot of different heroes to come out from this player, along with a lot of other DPS ready to go whenever they need, I guess. This is certainly one of the biggest rosters that we've had.
I think this is really interesting to see because the flexibility in the hero pool may be the key to unlocking Six Blow in what is a very versatile meta here. And also, something that I really want to point out is that Four-Eyed Freaks have 3 Korean players on the roster. Yes, of course, Overshake is dual nationality with Korea, Singapore. So, but I think that predominantly since this is a fairly new roster with a lot of new pieces, I think sharing a single nationality may be very key to the team communications, which may be crucial
communication, especially at desperate times when everything's on the line in just a couple of seconds. Communication can be an issue in all types of esports, actually. So I wonder how well the communication is going to go between all the players. It does seem like Indonesia, Singapore, Korea mixed in this team for Four-Eyed Freaks. So let's see how this goes. First map will be up selected will be Busan Control.
So a thing about the map selection here is that first map is going to be always set by the comp ops team, but the loser will be able to choose the next map. So it's also going to be very interesting to see because there's such a huge map pool here, and also, especially for Four-Eyed Freaks, there are so many players that you can rotate around. So kind of looking at how they change the strategy with each map and how the series goes is also going to be very interesting to see.
We might have a headache trying to trace and keep track of who's playing on which map because they have such a big roster on DPS. But here we go.
So, Four-Eyed Freaks goes with the Overwatch League composition with the Junker Queen and the Bastion Symmetra. And they're actually, wow.
Oh, actually flanked really well from the side and taking down early Gume.
So Four-Eyed Freaks composition is all about mobility because you have the shout from the Junker Queen, you have the speed boost from the Lucio, and you also have the TP from the Symmetra as well. So outmaneuvering your opponents is key, and Four-Eyed Freaks is taking it to full effect because they are winning the first and second fights here, and they capped the first point.
Yeah, Six Blow already changing back into Orisa as Genji can shake up a thing, but in terms of the comp, like Four-Eyed Freaks, they are going to be staying together, which will make things very hard for that Genji to actually make some play.
So Six Blow started with a roster, well, with a composition with a Sigma, but they swapped immediately to a Brawly kind type with the Orisa here. I think this is going to be the traditional matchup that we've been seeing a lot in the Overwatch League, the Orisa versus the Junker Queen. It kind of is a little bit in Orisa's favor. However, if Four-Eyed Freaks is able to outmaneuver like they did in the first few fights, then they actually have a chance of winning. And also, that since they didn't change their composition, unlike Six Blows, they have the ult advantage, so they have to snowball from there.
Yeah, here's that max DPS. Torbjorn still alive and well taken care of. That Orisa was trying to take some part of the control point, but just not enough DPS, not at the right place. Six Blow still being pushed all the way
that
back.
Bastion ult to zone out Six Blow, and And it's working out because Sixplo is having a hard time just to get their feet on the point.
Already 61% in 4 weeks as Genji. A Blade was coming soon, but
the captive sun is there, but there's no follow-up damage to actually detonate. Rui is on a killing streak, 5-player killing streak here, and wow, how did the point flip? The point is on Sixplo now, but members are falling left and right, so it looks like Four-Eyed Freaks is going to take that point back.
Soldier did get 1 kill from the visor, but that is just it. And it does feel like some crucial ults were already used. With having very low synergy together from Sixplo.
It has to be the Terra Surge plus the Dragon Blade combination for Sixplo to make anything happen here, because Four-Eyed Freaks have their ults of their own. They have the Rampage, they have the Sound Barrier, they have... oh wow, their early aggression from Rui there makes sure that Sixplo cannot take their tempo, and Terra Surge already used, but to no effect!
Yeah, Bastion finally brought down, but still...
The Photon Barrier used to make sure that no follow-up damage does any actual damage to Four-Eyed Freaks. Yes, the Bastion did fall, but the point is now in Four-Eyed Freaks' favor, and overtime is burning down, and that is first point to Four-Eyed Freaks. What a performance.
Just keeping everything in control, and sometimes the point was flipped, but it was actually because they were too busy pushing the front line forward, which means they were actually well kept together as a team. They're not really willing to be separate, as there was a Genji who actually did nothing in that first point. Very surprisingly, it does seem like Sixplo, they need to change it up big time.
Well, right now for Sixplo, they are seemingly going to the Bastion as well, so it's going to be a very similar composition except the tanks and the supports. Sixplo does have poke advantage because they have the Illari and the Baptiste, so they need to use this to their advantage if they want a chance to win, because right now it looks like in the team fights, Four-Eyed Freaks is actually better at target acquisition and target focus. Yeah. So they need to get something out of the poke here.
Yes, also winning a lot of those neutral fights starting from the beginning. Typically the exact same comp. Sixplo, starting with the Orisa Bastion now. We'll be able to put out some decent DPS. Let's see the neutral fight still pushing the light. Jungkookin seems pretty safe in the front.
So Sixplo want to be very careful in their approach here because Max is perilously low. Okay, they do count first point, so that is a good start for them. The lamp is there to keep Rui alive on the Four-Eyed Freak side of things. Rui on very low. Will they be able to... Oh, Oversheik falls. Baromi finally showing why he picked that Genji here, and Sixplo finally having a foothold on this game.
Sixplo really coming in clutch, as did like their push, as Orisa did not go too far into the front line. Thought, okay, we need to fall back and regroup, which is exactly what happened. Jungkookin might have stepped a little bit over the line, and that's when 4EF started to fall apart.
I really like the change from Four-Eyed Freaks here because they understand that they're getting too much damage before they even get to fight up close. So they are matching the poke with XP7's Sojourn, hoping that they can actually take a pick before the support line of Sixplo can do enough damage to them.
The window was over early. Sixplo, which is his own window. Nothing else really following up, as Four-Eyed Freaks still in the back, trying to get minimum damage before they get some potential with the ultimates.
The important thing here is that the point is still in the favor of Sixplo, and so Four-Eyed Freaks has to gut to them. And they're taking accumulative damage as they approach. So this is a great strategy from Sixplo right now. I think the only change was the Bastion here, but it's working out perfectly because yes, Four-Eyed Freaks need to be in Sixplo's faces, but Sixplo is, hey, if you want to come to us, you need to pay the toll, and that's going to be your health bar.
Yeah, exactly. Four-Eyed Freaks having a tough time coming back into the point, but they had gathered a lot of their ultimates near that 90% mark.
Yes,
so that's coming
95.
real soon.
This is final fight territory. Four-Eyed Freaks need to touch. They did. And they have to use the sound barrier just to keep themselves alive.
Okay,
but how?
Catch from DPS from Four-Eyed Freaks. All the ultimates coming online. And this should be a flip, and they should be good to go. 6 Blow, I think they're ready to give this one up a little bit. As some ults used, only Genji. Genji's Dragon Blade, but everything else seems like it's okay. As still, they do have 99% this time.
Yeah, so one team fight win for 6 Blows means that it's going to be Final Fight territory and maybe even a potential win for the point here. However, Four-Eyed Freaks have their ults of their own. I think it's going to be the Dragon Blade and the Kitsune Rush combined, but not if Rui dies full first, and there's the Terra Surge. And this is going to be a flip for 6 Blows, and maybe this is going to be round 2 in the favor of 6 Blows here.
Unless XP7 can do something amazing, but by herself, oh, that's not going to be possible as everyone else already fall.
The rush is there, but there's no bodies to touch the point. Maybe
there's one more touch with the Tracer.
It's only delaying the inevitable here as everyone falls on the side of Four-Eyed Freaks, and 6 Blows match the round points. So it's 1-1 here on Busan.
Yeah, 1-1 apiece. 6 Blow fell pretty rough in the very first point, but sort of the other way, as you have mentioned the difference in comp. Four-Eyed Freaks was trying to catch up later on by changing the DPS, and then maybe it's time to bring out that Orisa. It seems like Rui's Jungle Queen did work really well first, but after that it was mostly Max actually keeping up that tank line.
So what's really interesting is that in Sanctuary, yes, 6 Blow Max did kind of swap to the Orisa a little bit later, but still, Four-Eyed Freaks, if you consider the matchup between the Junker Queen and the Orisa, I personally think that Orisa has the upper hand. However, in Sanctuary, Four-Eyed Freaks, like, snowballing their ult advantage kind of won despite that matchup. However, in Mecha Base, it looks like the Orisa comp is finally showing why it's actually a counter to the Junker Queen composition. And Four-Eyed Freaks, they're still going with the Junker Queen. This is very interesting.
Yeah, Jungle Queen, okay, but compared to Orisa and what she's capable of in the front, I mean, Orisa can protect your team so much more compared to what Jungle Queen can. Okay, already. Sakume, this player has been getting a lot of kills as a support already. Iliari having some fantastic moments.
So this is what I've been mentioning here, because Four-Eyed Freaks, it's a very mobile comp. You have the Symmetra, you have the Lucio, you have the Junker Queen. So what's all about mobility is that you want to outmaneuver and you want to be in their faces as soon as possible. But 6 Blows, 6 Blow is really playing this very cleverly because they're poking. So I'm repeating myself again, but before Four-Eyed Freaks even gets into a range that they're comfortable of fighting, 6 Blows making their namesake and throwing blows even before Four-Eyed Freaks can actually be in an actual team fight. So Four-Eyed Freaks, so they know that this Junker Queen is not working now, and they also converted to the Orisa comp. The question is it too late? Because meaning that if you change comps, you'll be behind on ultimates, and it's very, very difficult to be, you know.
Yeah, that plus 50+%, 60% already for 6 Blow. They're keeping this up online. Unless they do bring you down.
There is the tactical visor. No kills, but it's zoning out. Oh, actually, there is that kill on XP7. So it is yet to be another turn. They have to reset once again. Timer at 76%. It's almost reaching Final Fight territory already for Four-Eyed Freaks.
Yeah, Four-Eyed Freak, they tried to push all the line onto the plaza, but it was just not possible as Rui was having a tough time being healed from the back line. And some ultimates coming online. Here it is, Captain Sun. And bringing Genji down. Will that be possible with just one down? They need to get the point.
Yeah, 95, so they do have to make that flip, or else it is going to be game over.
Brought down before that damage.
Surge on Max is there, no kills. A lot of members down on the side of 6 Blow, so it looks like Four-Eyed Freaks maybe actually make the flip happen, and they do. But it was, boy, G-Clef, this was an expensive fight for Four-Eyed Freaks.
Yeah, it was. To bring down Rui before that hit, I think 6 Blow used a lot of their resources, most of their damage actually on Orisa, allowing a lot of room for Four-Eyed Freaks to come back and make the play. Still, XP7 getting a little aggressive there.
Out, poked by Sakume there. This is going to be very crucial because this buys time for Six Blow to get that ultimate because a lot of their ultimates are going to be online, like the Captain Sun. The window is already out there, and TQQ's tactical visor is almost ready. XP7 was a crucial casualty on the side of Four-Eyed Freaks there. Again, the bomb is going to be denied for the final fight here, baby.
It might be it, as a lot of the members from Four-Eyed Freaks having a tough time coming back into the point. Here's a full... The power of the sun, Sakume. Actually, okay, did get Genji, but that's a good trade. Speed 75 actually wins that duel.
Captive Sun not having any value at all here as well, but the flip was there, and they Four-Eyed Freaks have to touch. This is going to be desperation fight. XP7 finally uses that bomb, but will it be enough?
Seems like Four-Eyed Freaks, they're actually grabbing a few kills, so this fight might be possible with Overshake healing it up, also providing some damage. So there is that flip. Finally, Six Blow. They did use a lot of their ultimates within the last few minutes. So there might be another chance for Four-Eyed Freaks to actually keep this point on.
Yeah, Speed 75 was the savior of the Four-Eyed Freaks here because I saw the kill feeds, and Speed 76 was there to make the crucial kills happen. And TQQ expended his tactical visor, so only the Terra Surge and maybe the Dragon Blade ready for Six Blows here. So it looks like almost unlosable here, but Six Blows, if they lose in one more fight, they might actually lose this map here.
It's going to be real close as the ultimate's coming online now for both sides. Window up.
Terra Surge on both sides, but Dragon Blade only on the side of Four-Eyed Freaks. This may be that early aggression is the key. Four-Eyed Freaks, they're making it happen. This was what 99-0, and their comeback is unreal.
Hell no, and I have to say that this is going to be Four-Eyed Freaks taking the game and the map. Plus, I will already select an MVP, to be honest. I will actually put Speed 75 as the MVP.
Well, definitely for Busan,
already.
at least in downtown, I can't disagree with that. That Genji play was phenomenal. I mean, we've seen, like I said, XP7, this player and Speed 75, they have been players that have been playing in like a previous contender season, and they're actually proving that this experience may be the difference in this matchup here.
Yeah, exactly. And also, losing your DPS early on, actually twice. XP7 was lost on the rooftop and plus on the way to the fight. So that's at least about 40 plus seconds gone from the battlefield. And within that time, Speed 75 got super low to below single digit HP. A couple of times was still able to survive, draw all the attention away from a tank, but never die within those times. So Speed 75 also providing damage whenever there was Shuriken and plus the Genji Blade. Maybe that Shuriken buff a while ago was able to provide some extra plus for that Genji, who was already powerful.
I'm really impressed with Four-Eyed Freaks' decision making here because especially in the last fight in downtown, they knew that both Therisas had Terra Surge, and there was a very slim window where Speed 75 only had Blade, and Roromia was close to Blade but didn't have Blade. So Four-Eyed Freaks caught that opportunity very, very keenly, and they pulled the trigger earlier. So they actually used that window to secure that victory, and I think that's good ultimate usage and good ult discipline. And also, for Six Blows, maybe it's a little bit, I'm being a little bit too harsh here, but they had the opportunity to actually close out this map because they were ahead in the ult economy. So, but I think credit to Four-Eyed Freaks because they had a very slim window, but they used it to full effect.
All they needed was the Orisa, and then the team comp, it was 99-0, and then they ended up winning the 0%, got the 100%, and that was only the first map. And when we come back, we'll have a short break. When we come back, we'll have that map number 2. And welcome back, everyone, to APAC Fall Series. And we are here getting ready for that second map. It is going to be hybrid. We don't know which one exactly yet, but of course, yeah, that'll be actually favoring with this roster, going back to the roster of DPS, the DPS roster for 4EF, because they have such a huge roster for the DPS, actually 5 players ready to go. it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters whichever map the opponent chooses. Okay, with this map you go, this map I go, this map you play with this comp. I'm pretty sure that should be ready to go. And for 6Blow, having a solely set roster, because we do have a couple of other teams with just 5 men, right? Let's keep up this story because we have such a big map pool here for the fall series. Let's see if that comes to bite them, or maybe it helps them even more having similar comp with just five people, not really changing up too much in terms of the teamwork that they will provide through the fall series. And the point I was trying to make was the 4 Freaks, they're just going to be ready whichever map the opponent chooses.
Pretty much. I think it's also going to be very interesting to see what map. Oh, there it is, Midtown.
Oh.
So this is going to be 6Blow's pick. I think that by picking Midtown, they still think that they're ready to go against the Orisa duel, because Midtown is a map that Orisa is very prominent in and used a lot in as well. So we'll be seeing. I expect to see a lot of Orisa, Bastion, and the Symmetra again. Maybe a little bit of Sojourn or Soldier 76 in the mix-up. And I also think that 6Blow thinks they're also okay to go with the Ilari and Baptiste again, because especially on point A, point B, maybe even on point C, all these are viable. So if they wanted to go to another matchup, maybe they wanted to go somewhere like a if they want maybe Numbani or something like that. But by picking Midtown, I think that they're still confident in their ability to win that matchup.
Yeah, this is more of how much you can actually hold, and also when you start pushing, it's going to be coming in effect when you have that window up, especially for 6Blow. So we have kind of swapped side on top. Now 6Blow on the right, as you can see, paused. Which I'm sure that's not the issue.
I blame that bird. So that shouldn't have happened. So that's why it's pausing.
So I blame the pizza. Because the bird cannot eat the pizza.
Why not?
I'm not a bird.
Birds can't eat pizza?
I'm not a bird. I don't know exactly. But I'm pretty sure they can't eat pizza, can they?
Well, I mean, they can. It's a problem of what happens after that.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it is New York, right? Some birds might evolve in New York. I've been in New York, so I've seen a lot of pizza.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of pigeons too. But I don't exactly know what they eat. But we'll see.
Yeah, we don't know what's actually going on the scenes right now. But maybe I think that due to being on the tournament being online, maybe a little bit of technical issues here, maybe ping issues. But we're confident that we'll be able to be back in no time. I'm interested to see that both teams were hovering Sigma here. Sigma is also very viable in this map as well. I've also saw a little bit of the Hanzo and Ash. And
we'll see. We're getting word that we're having an issue from 40F side slightly, so maybe it'll take some time. Hopefully not too long until we go back into that Midtown, but...
Hey, I mean, more time for us, I guess.
More time for us, as we did skip a few patches because we were here for the summer series and then it's fall series. It's been about 3 months, 2.5 months to be exact. But still, through a lot of patches, because for the summer series, we actually played in the previous patch. So we actually skipped about 3-4 patches.
Yeah, so about like 4 patches, I think.
And then I'm also informed that we next week we're actually going back into the live patch.
Yeah, so starting from September 18th, which is next week, we go to the live patch. But that's not important because we live in the present, not the future, and the game is ready to go. And like I mentioned here, 4EF is ready for a lot of poke because all 5 heroes on the side of 4-Eyed Freaks is able to poke. And this is going to be the opposite of Busan here. So 6Blow wants to be the one that actually... Well, they do have their poke of their own because they have the Ilari and the Baptiste as well. But to me, it seems like 4-Eyed Freaks is like, hey, you try to toll us with your health bars when you guys kind of came in. we're gonna do the same to you.
Yeah, this just means that the moment you peek out a little bit, the moment one comes down either from the air, from the ground, yeah, it's all gonna be over with this many pokes.
It is a little bit concerning on the side of Four-Eyed Freaks in that the barrier from both Sigmas is going to be a little bit different because Bastion just rolls through Sigma's barrier. Well, yes, Hanzo is also a good barrier breaker. However, it's not to the speed of TQQ, who, by the way, just fell by a headshot, none other than the Hanzo here. Speed 75. I initially introduced this player as a flex DPS. I mean, yes, Hanzo is a projectile, but wow.
Yeah, Speed 75 was known for a lot more hit scan damage, but since XP7 is actually holding that position, yeah, coming in clutch as whichever DPS. Another headshot here as they are just going.
They are denying access to the subway at all in this map of New York here. Wow, 6blow. Right now, it looks like they need to farm some ults before they can even try to enter here.
I think it all depends. It's 6blow. When that Echo ultimate comes online, it'll take some time though because they just got totaled in a couple of minutes ago. Actually switching side, trying to come flank from the other side of the street.
Ultimate slowly getting online on both sides. The Captive Sun may be the key for 6blow here, but Four-Eyed Freaks, they are just a sliver away from that Gravitic Flux, which may be the key for that defense as well.
Yeah, coming from the side, was sort of scanned from the Sonic. And there's a mini stun onto Max. Can we really hold it up? A lot of ultimates coming online. The Dragon not really hitting the key.
They already baited out the lamp, so the Gravitic Flux is going to be very deadly here. Yes, no answering trades from the side of 6blow here, and it's going to be an entire wipe and a reset for the side of 6blow. 4 ults used on the side of Four-Eyed Freaks here, so maybe a window of opportunity for 6blow in the next turn.
4-4-2, which is not a bad sign because you're trying to hold the points for the longest time possible. 6blow. Let's see if it's possible with the 3 along with Max's ultimate coming real soon.
However, 6blows need to do something quick because the time is ticking here and is sub 1 minute on the timer here. So they need to do something really
Starting
quick.
with Bastion.
Good Bastion.
But Echo just went down before the ult. Is it enough for them to push?
Good Gravitic Flux to have 2.
Let's catch Hanzo.
It looks like 6blow should be able to cap this point here, but however, we do need to look at it a little bit more. Bastion taking down this barrier, but nothing more. But Roromi with on the Echo making those finishes happen, and 6blows on sub 30 seconds on the clock. Finally, it looks like they're going to cap point A.
Yeah, because the spawn's much faster for 6blow, they end up getting the point eventually, but still. Man, that was very close. 4EF was almost able to full hold on this map.
Yeah, like I said, G-Clef, Four-Eyed Freaks on that turn right before this one, they used 4 ultimates, so they were at an ultimate disadvantage. So maybe if they had a little bit more better, I guess, ult discipline, things might have been a little bit different. However, 6blows, that also means that even though if they lost that previous fight, they saved their ults, and it's a good sign that they did not use their ults in a losing fight. So maybe some sliver of hope here.
But still now, 6blow, they got some extra time to push on to the payload now.
7 with the double kill here.
Oh, man.
I wanted to highlight this player here because there's a very fun kind of story on this player. When this player was on SLT and they were playing on the open division in Korea, some of their opponents actually asked the comp ops team to check his computer because he was so good.
Oh, because he was so good? Well, kind of reminds me of a lot of the players, but here, XP7 certainly doing a lot better compared to Busan that we just had. Full ultimates online. And here we go. Sigma copied 6blow side.
Copied, but instantly killed. So back to the Echo form here. Rui very low, but the lamp and the healing sustains. So it's going to be an extended fight. but already ults, a lot of ults used on both sides. Oh,
the Dragon Strike
Dragon
catching
from
two.
Speed
And
75.
3! Speed 75, Dragon Strike. Dragon Strike usually doesn't kill that many.
Yeah, usually it's used to zone out players for positional advantage. But hey, if you can make kills happen, I'm not going to complain about it.
Yeah,
but
that came in from the blind spot, catching a lot of the members. Speed 75, he's making Hanzo work
Speed 75 has definitely something with the Shimada brothers here, because in Busan he was really proficient with the Genji, and now he's showing great performances on the Hanzo here. And 4i Freaks, I think this comp is actually working really well, because the damage output of this poking comp is really...
Genji just got headshotted again. Speed 75 with those... He can make everything work!
Yeah, because 6 blows, they're getting picked out one by one before they even have a chance to actually use their ults and do an actually a formal team fight.
Yeah, at least they're... It seemed like they were pushing until this choke point where 4i Freaks, where they can actually have Hanzo climbing back up and down all the time, shooting the arrow, climbing back down. This guy cannot be seen. He's a real ninja.
Final fight territory. They need to touch.
Rurami gets
Rurami
stunned.
touches, but gets very low, but does not get eliminated.
Oh, the pokes from XP7 pretty good too. Not really caring about Genji. As
No
he can't really do
casualties
too much
on
alone.
either side yet. The captive sun there, but will there be any follow-up damage? I don't think so, but still, 4i Freaks on a very advantageous position because they have both the high ground and the corners here.
Dragon Strike from TKQ. Can this work? Pushing that towards the back.
Down, but a lot of damage output gone from the side of 6 blows. Only 2 members remaining. Max and Kiru 01. Will they be able to make a heroic turnaround? Maybe they do! Because there's only 3 members on the side of 4i Freaks now.
Max?
The bomb is there, however. Oh no, XP7.
Oh,
wow,
not a
what
point for
a
the final
fight.
moment. What a fight. It almost seemed like to me also that they were able to grab the win against Max and Kiru and take it back, because they also had Bob on point, which I think was another harassment towards the other side. That was close, but that wasn't much of a push, to be honest. I thought they would go slightly further, but
this dragon.
yeah, came from the blind spot.
Well, I mean, I think Speed 75 did have vision from the Sonic Arrow. However, like you said, G-Clef, on this, in 6 blows point of view, it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's why you always have to have extra camera or extra mirror on your car side mirror. Sometimes you just try to go left and right, and there's an extra car there without noticing. That's the Hanzo ability. You can just, yeah, Speed 75 with the Sonic, you can just scan and just shoot that Dragon Strike whenever you need.
So the interesting part about 4i Freaks here is that they forced 6 blow. They poked out 6 blows so much to the point that 6 blow did not have any chance of fighting on their terms unless they were at a massive ult advantage. So maybe like that one fight where they had point A was the only actual fight that 6 blow was advantaged for, and that was because the poke damage from 4i Freaks was so high to the point that 4i Freaks was always at an advantage in the team fights.
Yep. Oh no, isn't this already a pretty good sign for 4i Freaks to actually keep up that poking comp, but actually going back to Symmetra Bastion for maximum damage? 6 blow actually coming up with the Hanzo. Trying to stall the point.
Well, the poke composition, although it's also viable on attack, it's not as effective on the attack as well, because you have, in defense, you have the corners where you have like very singular vision, where you have a line of sight of the opponent, but they don't. But it's the other way around on the attack side, when you are on the attack side of things. So they're going back to the Junker Queen mobile comp, where you can TP around their defenses, and also 6 blow. This is not the most mobile comp on the defense side of things.
Oh, there's a headshot. Oh, pretty nice one from TKQ to start things off.
Yeah, so again, this is another deja vu of Busan, where 4i Freaks, they want to outmaneuver 6 blow, but 6 blow, they have the poking advantage now. So they want to do exactly what 4i Freaks did to them on their defense.
Yeah, but this time 4i Freaks actually pushing them real hard, pushing them all the way into the point.
They did lose their Symmetra early on, but already they had they had the real estate advantage here, and it looks like it is going to be point cap A on the side of 4-Eyed Freaks. 6Blow, yes, they're going to be in a dilemma right now because Max is 79% on the Gravitic Flux, but will they want to swap to the Orisa here? Because Orisa looks like it's going to be the answer to this Junker Queen comp, and they know that this is the answer. Because they experienced this on Busan.
Yeah, 6Blow, they did have some respawn coming back, stalling some good time, but still, compared to what they were able to have when they started pushing was about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Now, 4EF already having 4 and 30. And let's see this Widow if he can land any headshots.
I mean, even with the Widowmaker nerfs and it like a single headshot from long range does not take out a single 200 HP target, like just threatening and keeping that pressure will be enough because the comp of 4-Eyed Freaks, their objective is to close the distance, and by threatening for them to back out, they have all the space they need for the other members of the team 4-Eyed Freaks.
Yeah, look at these plays. That's a pretty good Sigma there, but still not enough to actually grab the kill because of that shield from Lucio. 4-Eyed Freaks keeping everyone alive, keeping all 5, and actually getting the point early. That teleport into Bastion really just went straight into the teleport. And that was just it. Bastion had no chance of doing extra damage, and I think the time left were still over 4 minutes on that map.
So even if they lost that fight, they still had a pretty good chance that they would cap. And 4-Eyed Freaks, I think they have a better understanding of each composition right now. So like playing a composition and understanding it are two different things, because you have a win condition and you have you kind of figure out how to achieve those kind of win conditions, right? So even if you play the same composition, how you approach your composition is kind of like sorry, I'm kind of out of words because 4-Eyed Freaks is so good. But how they approach towards their win conditions is just showing how good their understanding of the game is right now.
Yeah, especially when they have the chance, the slightest window of going in. Okay, I see the Bastion. It seems like he's alone, and let's just go in and kill and escape right after that because we have better cover. That was exactly what 4-Eyed Freaks was able to do. I mean, 6Blow, they're not having a tough. They're actually having somewhat of a tough time pushing and also defending. But I think with the upcoming map later on, Flashpoint actually could be their chance to actually reverse sweep if it's possible. But 4-Eyed Freaks, certainly, as you said, it seems to be like they're having a good time right now, along with map number 1 and 2. All their plays, most of them, the poking works, and the team comp that they use from Busan is also working on the second map. I mean, unless it's broken, I think they can just keep this up, as we're actually going to be going on to another short break before we come back for that map number 3, Flashpoint, coming up next. Hey everyone, welcome back to Fall Series APAC. We're in the middle of these two teams fighting, but certainly the score is not 1-1 yet because it is 2-0 for 4-Eyed Freaks, and they're doing a fantastic job. They had some moments though. They had some moments where things could have flipped towards 6Blow, but certainly the score is not saying that yet.
Yeah, definitely. I think right now, 4-Eyed Freaks, yes, like you said, G-Clef, they do have a little bit of issues. Maybe a little bit more on Busan than Midtown. They have a little bit of hiccups on their ult usage, ult discipline a little bit. But it seems like right now they have a better hold of the meta than 6Blow right now. 6Blow, however, I think they do have a chance to come back, especially now that this map 3 is going to be Flashpoint. I think that they might have to go try their own version of the Junker Queen composition if they can do it. If not, I think they might. If they can't play the Junker Queen composition, then they definitely have to go to the Orisa comp, because if we look at Busan, that is the composition that they looked a lot more comfortable with, especially compared to that Sigma composition that we saw in Midtown.
Yeah, the Sigma composition did not really work as well, as we are going into New Junk City for Flashpoint, as some really cool music kicking in.
My first time casting Flashpoint.
I'm happy. We'll be seeing a lot of Flashpoints. As one of the newest mode, of course, in game. As I've been having a lot of fun on this mode too. Oh, a lot of the other fun too.
Yeah, New Junk City, like Flashpoint in its nature, it has 5 control points. This is basically an extended version of Control.
It is.
And since you don't know which control point you're going to have to go against next, you're going to have to control next. Speed and maneuvering is key to this map type. So this is why I think the Junker Queen composition, despite like in a matchup, losing to the Orisa composition is even better in this map. So. Oh, but okay. I'm definitely not expecting the Roadhog to be here, but if you just swap that to the Junker Queen, then that is the default composition that I am expecting to see on New Junk City. And 6Flow, they are definitely going to win the Orisa here, which I don't think is bad, but at the same time, it lacks the maneuverability that is needed to go from point to point.
Yeah, on top of that, having Lucio with the speed boost for 40F, along with Symmetra. So, as you can see already, yeah, that movement will be the key for Flash Mode. 6Flow already.
Surprisingly, 6Flow is going to be the first team that is going to be taking position on Arena. Just a little bit of extra explanation here. The first control point is always going to be Arena, and the rest of the control points are going to be random spawn.
So it'll be after that. After this point, you do have to watch as Rue actually in the front to take a lot of damage, half down.
The lamp down early on, so that is going to be positional advantage on the side of Four Eyed Freaks. However, the first cap will be on the side of 6Flow. Remember, G-Clev, on this map type, the timer goes much quicker than Control, and this is going to be that's a good TP. I don't think 6Flow expected this. Their utility's all out. Their tank is gone, so this is going to be a wipe on the side of Four Eyed Freaks, and they are going to make that flip happen.
Yeah, 6Flow. This is certainly not a comp where they can actually just take a TP right into your face and make it work, because they do have Orisa, but in terms of speed, as we mentioned already, you're not going to be defending from all sides. It's really tough, as we saw from the screen. Speed 75 trying to decide, do we go left, do we go right, which one's better at which angle. And it worked once. If this keeps on working, I mean, 6Flow, they're going to be having a very tough time with this comp.
6Flow have a lot of ultimates in store. There is that Captain Sun with the window there.
Oh, is it a waste? A few more shots, but
it does hit a few members, but no follow-up damage for the kills here. So this is going to be a neutral fight once again, and now, but this time, Four Eyed Freaks have ultimates of their own. The photon barrier is going to be online. The sound barrier is already online, and are there how many ultimates is each team going to invest? The sound barrier is already there.
Okay, early.
I don't think this is a good idea. Oh, but Roromi is down. I was about to mention that after that sound barrier, it was the prime time for Roromi to use that Dragon Blade, but not if he's already dead. So this is going to be first point for Four Eyed Freaks.
So my question is, how in the world Rui picking up that many kills? Of course, a lot of damage members from 6Flow, but still, actually catching the kill that many times with Junker Queen, as we have seen from different maps, it's quite interesting. As on the other side, of course, 6Flow, they're still holding on to it. They didn't really waste those ults actually before going down. So at least for the next fight, they'll have a lot more ultimate advantage here.
So it looks like the next point is bomb flats, if I'm not mistaken.
Going all the way back here.
6Flows, they need to, because they didn't have the chance to use their DPS ultimates here, they need to use this right now, and they need to secure first cap, because first cap is so important in Flashpoint, because the timer ticks so quickly.
Yeah, that tactical visor did not provide too much. For 6Flow, window up for Berlin. Four Eyed Freaks, can they make it work? Oh,
window up for both
Liari
sides,
lost.
but it is Four Eyed Freaks once again profiting, and Roromi is down. This blade has been online for a while, and it hasn't been used, and Four Eyed Freaks takes point once again. So this is a very big concern for 6Flow right now, because Roromi has been having Blade for a while. Not just for a while, because he had Blade when Overshake on the side of Four Eyed Freaks had Sound Barrier, and Sound Barrier was used, and it's almost up again. So they definitely need to use this ultimate before Four Eyed Freaks can have any defensive measures online.
Yeah, unless you make a heroic play alone with the Genji Genji's Dragon Blade, which is very tough against the comp of 4i Freaks, as Rampage will be available and a few others coming online real soon, like the Proton from C75.
54% if they lose,
Where are
this
you?
might be final
They're
fight
taking a lot of... Okay, they're taking too much time here. There it is. Barriers up.
Oh my god.
Little too aggressive alone. That almost hit 3 members, I believe. The Genji. Dragon Blade up, but without the team members. Catching a lot. But is it enough? The barrier is up here for 4i Freaks, and no point given to 6below whatsoever.
Yeah.
All the ultimates used.
All the ultimate used and I mean, maybe a few kills here and there, but in the end, this is an objective game where you have to capture the objective. But, oh.
That's 2-0 now.
The bright side is that it's going to be ducked for the next point, and 6below will be there quicker than 4i Freaks. However, if you look at the ultimates here, it is going to be window available for 4i Freaks first again, and then it's also going to be the Bastion ult available again. So even though if 6below have positional advantage, they can use the Bastion ult to just drain out, flush out 6below from their advantageous positions.
Yeah, you can actually start with the artillery and try to poke the back line first, and then go into the point. As 6below, they already have the advantage.
The window is there.
Some damage provided, and actually got Baptiste on the back.
Yes, 6below did get first cap. However, members falling from 4-Eyed Freaks means that... members falling from 6below means that 4-Eyed Freaks will be able to flip that in 22%, and that is actually just a blink. You can just get 22% on a blink on Flashpoint here.
Yeah, to respawn and come back to a point, which is actually, I think it's actually somewhat closer to 6below, at least. So it's not as bad, but it still takes about 25 seconds plus to have your entire team come back. And now already 32 for 4-Eyed Freaks. Of course, nothing really online other than a couple of ultimates.
The Bastion ultimate and the window going to be available for 6below. So this is almost the identical situation, except of that.
Artillery poke.
Identical situation that 4-Eyed Freaks were having. Oh,
got Bastion.
Got Bastion. That is the start. So they need to start
5v4
aggression here.
Can you actually make this work a little further? Max has been doing a fantastic job at the front. Orisa, here's TQQ.
The
Folks
window
happening.
Was open, but everyone on the side of 4-Eyed
Rui's still
Freaks
alive.
fell
Immortality
downstairs.
field. Keeping it up.
The point was given up, but no casualties on the side of 4-Eyed Freaks, so they actually do have a chance to fight back. The sound barrier and the photon barrier will be online very soon. The Terra Surge from 6below might be the only thing that they might use against it, but they don't need it because TQQ is grinding 4-Eyed Freaks into pieces.
Yeah, Max and a couple of members from the bottom actually pressured all the members of 4EF, really making it hard for them to position. They kept up. It almost seemed like XP7 could have come back within that time, but I think he was considering changing his hero already.
So this was actually a very crucial win for 6below because last fight they weren't in a clear ult advantage. However, this fight, this is final fight territory for Ducks here. However, 6below has all of the ultimates that they need. They didn't even need it for the fight because 4EF was too late to come to the point. Yes, they can even afford to lose this fight because they already took that point, and the cherry on top, they won that fight, so they will be having positional advantage for the next point as well. 6below, it's finally online in this game.
Yeah, it almost seemed like at that point, 6below was around 90+%. 4EF, they were saying, okay, do we just keep the ultimates for the next fight? We're already leading 2-0 in Flashpoint. Only a few used. Both supports and also Jungkook, keeping that ultimate for the next point.
Yes, 6below did win the last fight. However, spawn was advantageous for 4-Eyed Freaks, so they will be in Junkyard first. It looks like the window was expended first. Not a lot of value, but it is enough to zone out. No! Okay, as soon as I said that, XP7 used the window to take out Kuro. So 6below will be having to reset.
Yeah, that Rampage is there, but didn't really hit too much. It was not even needed. Speed 75, the slashing and dashing again. And starting off the third point, if they take one more, that is going to be it.
So 6-Blow, Roromi has the Dragon Blade, but 4EF has Overshake has the Sound Barrier to counter it. So it's going to be if you're at the point of 6-Blow's point of view, they need to bait out the Sound Barrier with either the Blade or the Terra Surge. And after the Sound Barrier is expended, they need to use the other ult to make those kills happen. But Roromi taking a neutral kill, this is good news for 6-Blow. They need to pull the trigger now.
So in return, Speed75 tried to do the same. Was not able to do it. So their
that
barrier
is the
early
sound
up.
barrier. They didn't even use the Terra Surge nor the Dragon Blade. So the Dragon Blade is there, but
Here's Roromi's Dragon Blade trying to catch extra, but it's onto the Jungle King. Takes some time. DQ. Okay, DPS doing some work. Overshake actually catches that shoulder. Can you hold it? Point flipped, but all the members
Terra
gone.
Surge not taking much value. So yes, they did have an ult advantage here, but members they have less members, and it is 93%. So this is going to be last fight territory on the side of 6-Blow. This is going to be desperation for survival here. If they lose this map. They lose this match, and they have no way to touch 4EF. They win with a convincing 3-0 win against 6-Blow.
Yeah, with some points given on all three maps. It wasn't perfect with 0 scores, 1-2, 1-2, and 1-3. If you take all the map 1, 2, and 3, but we've explained and we've said it enough as how strong this team can be, and the amount of talent already that we have seen on 3 maps only. I think this team is going to be among the top few teams out of Apex this season already.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we do have our tournament favorites, Feral, and also we have Heaven Sent that we kind of routed as our pre-tournament favorites. However, it looks like Variety Freaks may, if they just kind of cover some of the issues that we've mentioned a little bit before, they have the talent to be on that level.
Yeah, certainly, Variety Freaks, they had some moments losing against Daffy Esports and a couple other teams from their open, but on this level right now against 6-Blow, they were able to show for sure that they are not at matching level against 6-Blow, 4EF. I actually wanted to see another map being played between the two teams because they were so having a lot of different team comps, and also a lot of the shows from Speed75 especially. I think that was the key. Also, Rui being able to play the Junker King with such teamwork is so much of a plus for the team.
Yeah, exactly. So being able to play the meta compositions here, both the Junker Queen composition and the Orisa composition, is really, really, I guess, impressive on the side of, if you consider that there haven't been a lot of competitive matches to prepare, to practice for the Contenders Fall Series. However, it looks like they do have some things to work on, like maybe some ult discipline, which of course, like considering that it is Contenders teams, that like is a problem for a lot of other Contenders teams as well, so it's not particularly concerning. However, if you want to compete against the top teams, then you probably have to work on that as well. 6-Blows, they're not over yet. Yes, they do. Yes, they expose a lot of problems. Like, I think when they had the Terra Surge on, they had both the Terra Surge and the Dragon Blade on Junkyard on New Junk City, they should have won that fight. But especially because they baited out the sound barrier even before they used any of those ults. They should have won that fight. So if they definitely have their issues, but I see the talent there. I see the individual talent there. So if they just work on their issues, I think they will also be a good team that may be surviving long into the tournament.
Yeah, man. I think we've seen some moments where 6-Blow, they were hesitant to press that Q. Along with the teamwork, maybe the communication was just a little faster from 4EF compared to 6-Blow. As we'll take a look at
our player of the match.
Player of the match.
75.
As he's Hanzo, some amazing arrow shots. Not just the Dragon Strike, Symmetra. To start off Flashpoint. Yeah, that was just said and done. We just push, and you guys can't handle us.
So what's impressive about Speed75 is that not only his mechanics were impressive on every hero that he played, but he played very different roles. Because he played Symmetra on a TP, on a mobile comp, and also on a Pope comp. He played Hanzo to a level that was very acceptable, and also Genji. So, like, and a Genji to assassinate and maybe harass the backline. So we saw a lot of different colors from this player, and I mean, there are some players that can play a specific role on a good level and not, like, can't play other roles on that same level. But right now, it seems like Speed 75, at least in this level of competition, can play all 3 roles in a very, very impressive fashion.
Yeah, now with that 3-0 score, they do move up to that winners, as no team will be knocked off the first 2 days, as every single team, you can kind of say that they will all have 2 lives. So even if you lose, you do go down to the lower bracket. That's the double elimination format, as you do see 6 down there in the lower bracket now. As 4EF will be going against the winner between Heaven Sent and Invincible, which is another very exciting match that I can't wait to see.
Yeah. So 4EF Freaks will be playing later on today, actually, and they will be waiting to see who comes up from Heaven Sent and Invincible, which are very good teams, both good teams in their own regard. And well, I can't just wait. Heaven Sent, Invincible. I think Heaven Sent will be the favorites here, but it's also I wouldn't be surprised if Invincible won here as well. So, and 4-Eyed Freaks, I think they have a slight advantage here, not just because you know, they're better in terms of I guess mentality or anything, but they actually have the time to see how the other 2 teams play and kind of analyze and prepare for how their opponents will play.
Yeah, the second match, the winner of the second match will be having a match right after that, so they will have close to no time to actually prepare for that winner's match. Well, 4-Eyed Freaks, they will be watching this match and saying, okay, they can make some adjustment, at least some preparation, I guess, but it's not too long of a time unless it goes to like map 5 or something. But we'll see what happens in that winner's match later on. Heaven Sent, Invincible, I'm pretty sure we'll have some time to talk about these teams, but I'm very excited. Just from the first match, I mean, we got to see a little bit of that New Junk City for the Flashpoint. Not too many points given out from the east side, but still, how was it? How was it coming back on the desk for APAC?
Well, I mean,
so far?
I'm definitely stuttering a little bit. I do need to shake off a little bit of rust, but I'm definitely having fun. I hope you're having fun as well.
Of course.
Flashpoint was action-packed, as always, chaotic, as I expected, and it's actually a really fun mode to cast. Like, also, it being on map 3, it is guaranteed in every matchup, so I'm excited for more.
Yeah, so we'll see Flashpoint every single match because it is the first 2 versus 3, of course. And we are ready to jump into a break. When we come back, we will have that second match of the day, Heaven Sent versus Invincible.